Hey guys, Curry here, and today I'm going to be talking about the rapper who has been missing for almost 12 years. Recently, I've been trapped in a true crime rabbit hole, I can't lie, like a lot of people, and I saw an article from 2010 about this rapper called DY, and I thought it was definitely something I could make into a video since I haven't seen anyone else make a video on his case. But before I get into this video, if you guys enjoy this, please consider subscribing. I know I sound like every YouTuber to ever make a video on here when I say this, but only a small percentage of you guys are subscribing. So, subscribing would make a big difference. But other than that, let's get into the case of DY. Forrest Scab, also known as DY, which is an acronym for Die Young, was born in Vancouver in 1984. At the age of 14, he started making rap songs independently, and later on in his early teenage years, he was noticed by a few talent scouts due to him winning multiple MC competitions in his area. At this time in his career, Forrest went by the stage name as Metaforest, with a Z replacing the S. In the mid to late 2000s, rappers from Canada were actually starting to get taken seriously and getting some recognition. This is because of rappers like Drake and The Weeknd becoming stars in rap around that time. In 2003, after getting some encouragement from family and friends, Metaforest released his debut mixtape called Metaforest Presents Street Legal Volume 1 Strictly for EV. Jesus Christ, what a fucking mouthful. But as you can see on the cover, Royce of 5'9" was actually featured throughout this mixtape, and that's a very good sign for Metaforest because, Royce of 5'9" is still a recognizable rapper today. So to have him on your debut mixtape in 2003 is definitely a positive thing. Over the following years, he was able to gain more in the underground circuit that was based in Vancouver. In around 2006, he released another mixtape with a similar name as the first one. Metaforest presents Street Legal Volume 2 Canada's Nightmare, hosted by DJ Woo Kid. And on the screen is the actual spelling for the mixtape. This was done purposefully, and just, oh my goodness. I'm so glad as a society we've moved past titles like this because, oh my god. Despite the poor spelling of the title, it actually propelled Metaforest's career even farther, and it did very good numbers for its own right. In 2009, Metaforest signed with CP Records as a smaller artist. Soon after signing with CP Records, he changed his name to the more synonymous title of his, DY. In the rest of 2009, he released Vancouver Gangland, along with a single featuring fellow label mate Danny Fernandez called Passenger. This song actually turned out to be a hit for both of the artists, as it has a few 100,000 plays across different music videos they posted. And just think of a very generic, like late 2000s pop rap song, and that's basically it. I'll leave a link to the video in the description, but it's nothing insane. As a result of the success of Passenger, he was a part of Akon's tour across Canada. This seemed to be DY's big break, as he gained much more notoriety across Canada. At this point, he was considered an emerging star in rap. In fact, he was featured on Billboard on a February 2010 issue. Being featured on Billboard was a lot more prestigious back then, since social media wasn't as popular and Billboard was one of the only consistent rap sources back then. Not to say it's not a big deal to be on it now, it was just a lot, bigger of a deal in 2010. In the issue, DY was referred to as one of the biggest emerging artists from Canada. Keep in mind, this is when Drake and The Weeknd were also considered emerging artists, so DY was definitely in some great company. The perception around DY was that it was only a matter of time before he was a household name. In mid-August of 2010, a 26-year-old Forrest preparing a trip to Mexico. Just note, for the rest of the video, I will be calling DY Forrest Scab again, since his rap career is basically over and there is no point in referring to him in his stage name. While there, he was planning to shoot and record parts of his debut album. Before leaving, Forrest announced to his family and friends that he won't be able to receive or deliver texts or calls from Mexico, so don't be worried if they don't hear from him in the next 2 weeks. His family did not know it, but this interaction was the last time they saw Forrest Scab. Outside of a tweet he made 3 weeks after leaving for Mexico, which wished a happy birthday to one of his friends, Forrest was never seen or heard from again. 3 months later, his family finally reported him missing to Canadian authorities. A lot of people blame Forrest's family for their slow response to his disappearance. They said that they were an uncaring family and that they just didn't give a fuck. But in their defense, they had no idea to know if Forrest decided to change his mind and extend his stay in Mexico, since calling them would be impossible as they were in different countries. The story was soon picked up by multiple Canadian news source channels, and basically everyone in CP Records, including the labeled artists, tweeted out help for Forrest's case. However, there was no leads on it. There are many theories about this case and what truly happened to Forrest Scab. However, the most common one is that he was set up by a Mexican cartel or gang to go to Mexico and then they kill him. It is widely believed that Forrest was a part of Hell's Angels at the time of his disappearance. If you don't know, Hell's Angels is a very popular but violent gang that mostly resides in Mexico. It is also rumored that he borrowed significant amount of money and drugs from the gang to fund his career in music, but he never paid them back. Whether he was held for ransom at first or just killed on the spot as punishment for failed payments to Hell's Angels, or even if he was involved in a gang as serious as Hell's Angels, we might never know. A few years later, around 2014 to 2015, a shocking blog post was released. It is coming from Forrest's brother's point of view, and it details a conversation he had with Diego. I cannot lie, I have no fucking clue who the hell Diego is, but it is assumed to be a member from the gang that abducted Forrest. Diego says how Forrest is still alive and in good condition. However, he does not want to tell his location because Forrest does not want to be found. The rest of the blog post basically says how the mother of Forrest pleaded with this mysterious Diego figure on the whereabouts of her son. Diego eventually drew her a vague but detailed picture of where Forrest is staying. It was a gas station that was around many multicolored buildings and had a van sticking out of the side in some sand. This was apparently enough for Miss Scab, as she did not press Diego any more about Forrest's whereabouts, as Diego refused to give her any more information. I'll leave a link to the blog post in the description, because it would take forever just for me to dissect the entire post. However, before you think the case is solved and Forrest just wants to be left alone and that everyone lives happily ever after, take Diego's comments with a grain of salt. First of all, we don't even know who the fuck Diego is. This could be some absolute random. No one knows who Diego is. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that it's pretty common for Hell's Angels or just gangs in general to make cover-up stories of people that they've killed, so the family who they do not want to harm can get a sense of closure. They often make up a scenario that seems too detailed to not be true, but it's actually a lie. That might be what Diego is doing here. Forrest was known as keeping his family close and having them as a top priority in his life. Actually, I'm going to play you a video of Forrest performing a song that he wrote for his mom.
Hey mama, I know I can't rewind the time, but whenever you cry, I'll be your sunshine. Hey mom, I love you, yeah, I'll always be your baby boy. Even when I'm 80, I'll still be your bundle of joy. You make me so proud that I could grow up.
This was a very bittersweet video to watch, since it's obvious how much Forrest loved his family, but we might not know the full truth of this story ever, and we might not know what actually went on in the family to make Forrest possibly act like this. But I just don't see a world where he essentially does the exact opposite of what his beliefs are and just moves to a totally different country and never talks to his family ever again, considering how close he was to them. There are a few other theories on what happened to Forrest Scab, but none of them present nearly as much evidence as the first one. This includes undiagnosed mental illness, running away with a girl he met there and changing his identity, and things along that line. Forrest would be 38 as of 2022, and there has yet to be any trace of him since the happy birthday tweet he sent out in September 2010. Most likely, and the theory that I believe the most, is that he was killed by Hell's Angels in Mexico due to him not paying them back money and drugs he borrowed to jumpstart his rap career. If you have any information on where you can find Forrest Scab, also known as DY and Metaphorus, you should obviously contact authorities ASAP. But yeah, that is pretty much it for the story of DY, a promising rap career thrown away by mysterious decisions and business with the wrong people. The single that DY was working with at the time, called That's My Spot, featuring D Woods, was released in late 2010 upon his family's wishes. But yeah, that's it. There's nothing more to the story as of right now. And what do you guys think of this case? Do you guys believe Diego, or do you believe the theory that he was killed, or do you believe a completely different theory? Let me know in the comments below. This was the first video I've ever done with a set script, so let me know if I should keep doing videos in a documentary type of way like this. And most importantly, if you guys enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It would mean a lot. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.